Coordinates: 38 degrees 53 minutes 23 seconds north, 77 degrees 0 minutes 32 seconds west, 38.88972 degrees north, 77.00889 degrees west, 38.88972. Minus 77.00889. The United States Congress, U.S. Congress, is the bicameral legislature of the federal government of the United States and consists of the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Congress meets in the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. Both senators and representatives are chosen through direct election, though vacancies in the Senate may be filled by a governor's appointment. Congress has 535 voting members, 100 senators and 435 representatives. The Vice President of the United States has a vote in the Senate only when senators are evenly divided. The House of Representatives has 6 non-voting members. The sitting of a Congress is for a 2-year term, at present beginning every other January. The current Congress is the 117th. Elections are held every even-numbered year on election day. The members of the House of Representatives are elected for the 2-year term of a Congress. The Reapportionment Act of 1929 establishes that they be elected in single-member constituencies or districts by first past the post, and that congressional districts be apportioned to states by population every 10 years using the United States Census results, provided that each state has at least one congressional representative. Each senator is elected at large in their state for a 6-year term, with terms staggered, so every 2 years approximately 1/3 of the Senate is up for election. Each state, regardless of population or size, has 2 senators, so currently, there are 100 senators for the 50 states. Article 1 of the United States Constitution requires that members of Congress must be at least 25 years old or 9 years, and be an inhabitant of the state which they represent. Members in both chambers may stand for re-election an unlimited number of times. The Congress was created by the Constitution of the United States and first met in 1789, replacing in its legislative function the Congress of the Confederation. Although not legally mandated, in practice since the 19th century, Congress members are typically affiliated with one of the 2 major parties. The Republican Party or the Democratic Party, and only rarely with a third party or independents. Affiliated with no party. Article 1 of the United States Constitution states, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. The House and Senate are equal partners in the legislative process. Legislation cannot be enacted without the consent of both chambers. However, the Constitution grants each chamber some unique powers. The Senate ratifies treaties and approves presidential appointments while the House initiates revenue-raising bills. The House initiates impeachment cases, while the Senate decides impeachment cases. A 2/3 vote of the Senate is required before an impeached person can be removed from office. The term Congress can also refer to a particular meeting of the legislature. A Congress covers 2 years. The current one, the 117th Congress, began on January 3, 2021, and will end on January 3, 2023, since the adoption of the 20th Amendment to the United States Constitution. The Congress has started and ended at noon on the 3rd day of January of every odd-numbered year. Members of the Senate are referred to as senators. Members of the House of Representatives are referred to as representatives. Congresswomen, or congressmen. Scholar and Representative Lee H. Hamilton asserted that the historic mission of Congress has been to maintain freedom, and insisted it was a driving force in American government, and a remarkably resilient institution. Congress is the heart and soul of our democracy, according to this view. Even though legislators rarely achieve the prestige or name recognition of presidents or Supreme Court justices, one wrote that legislators remain ghosts in America's historical imagination. One analyst argues that it is not a solely reactive institution but has played an active role in shaping government policy and is extraordinarily sensitive to public pressure. Several academics described Congress reflects us in all our strengths and all our weaknesses. It reflects our regional idiosyncrasies, our ethnic, religious, and racial diversity, our multitude of professions, and our shadings of opinion on everything from the value of war to the war over values. Congress is the government's most representative body. Congress is essentially charged with reconciling our many points of view on the great public policy issues of the day. Congress is constantly changing and is constantly in flux. In recent times, the American South and West have gained House seats according to demographic changes recorded by the census and includes more minorities and women, although both groups are still underrepresented. While power balances among